Precisely.
Ubisa lawyer nebia say what is the most principal law here pass obehuna. And they say say wusua mani nyina wie na wonnim jurisdiction of the court a wasua gukwa. It says over file a case. Na case in woni made mani kosisen. Wa bene mani kosisen. Na on the call the wrong court wa de aye nyina no. Brunisi o say enkase. Okasa no say extradition process it starts at the competent court of a federal jurisdiction. Tienio. Meanwhile, federal jurisdiction chrono. Wamfa anto. Wantibi anka nkyere say Ubedru United States here. Federal District Court war a United States here. A year 92. Ukodru New York, for instance. Federal District Court in 3 in New York. Your forum and venue selection. Untibi now Sharia say my file case. You cannot fight an extradition that does not exist. If it's a Ghana from Extradition Act of 1960, Section 7, the ECA, United States, was file a federal question. File anyway. Now,
to take a moment to announce that I have formally transmitted the request for the extradition quickly in return. All right. But usually the extradition proceedings take place in a court of competent jurisdiction. In our case, that is the district court. All right. In the US, it will also be the federal district court. Now, mind you, the person who is the subject matter of extradition will fight it in court. Okay, so the American authorities won't just take my request and say, here you are, here is Ken Ofori-Atta, and then here is, his other accomplished, and you take them, and then they can face trial. It will have to go through court proceedings in the U.S. All right, and I just got to know, that he has hired some of the top. Yesterday, I got to know that he has hired some of the top lawyers in the United States of America, very experienced lawyers, to, defend him. Now, I'm not afraid at all. All right, I am not afraid at all. But it means that there's going to be a fight in the federal courts in the U.S.
Attorney General, I am so sorry. You were a noble gentleman. Why are you deceiving the Ghanaian people? Ken Ofori-Atta has hired some top lawyers. So first of all, extradition process, to challenge an extradition, there must first be a formal request from Ghana. Later, the timelines and data or the extradition procedure, you can clearly tell us that Ken Ofori-Atta and lawyers, and Ken Ofori-Atta can appeal to the circuit court. So go for almost state court and almost federal court. Almost your friend say federal district court, circuit court, and some United States Supreme Court. Now go for you can say extradition. Say federal district court or magistrate naswa. They all you have to say. Issue extradition certificate. Tienio. By you read extradition section 1. I say a requisition for a surrender of a fugitive criminal of any country who is suspected of being in Ghana shall be made by the minister by a diplomatic representative or consular office for that country. The minister by order signified to a district magistrate that the requisition has been made and require him to issue this warrant for apprehension. Now, sir, extradition process will be the same reciprocity. Or word was reciprocity. Reciprocity, they say, said the extradition process. Sana US so any delay. So Ghana extradition act of 1960, section 7. Or says who extradite to be Obiaba be bone. Over see a channel in the the NCA decay and say, a year Nippon Nikromu, ne diplomatic senka ye okuje to ablakwa ebe file abasi Ghana for mo hwehwe ni panama. So US is almost the same. Extradition process is also almost the same. Now you ready we say US for tie hey gobi ehwe ni. Now ubedu ha 18 United States Code section 3184. Or say whenever there is a treaty or convention for extradition between United States and any other foreign government, any justice or judge of the United States or any magistrate authorized, the key word here is authorized. So you cannot just sit down and allow any judge at all, any magistrate at all, to sit on an extradition process. General Tienier. So Attorney General Ababe Kachere say, ya file Ken Ofori-Atta high lawyers for na a lawyer for no more top class. They are fighting the extradition. It's a lie, palpable. Because first of all, you must tell us where Ofori-Atta is. Because you can't just wake up and come and serve a year extradition process anywhere. It must be at the right federal district court. Federal district court, you know, so baby, a nipa na we no otie. Eti Attorney General for Ofori-Atta address na wonimu no ofambre. Eti Attorney General Ofori-Atta address ne breya. Ni ahunu so Ofori-Atta oti California, Ofori-Atta oti New York, Ofori-Atta oti New Jersey. It is our federal district court in the New Jersey no. And one year file federal na memi nko yi sa court ne mra ne nyina ye ready. So no suit. Oh my, so the idea that somebody is fighting extradition is not true. You ready? Section 18. You ready? Or say, may upon complaint made under oath issue warrant for the apprehension. Govi, social media. Govi, Mona Montia, no problem. Attorney General is lying to the people. If said no US court is hearing any extradition case, maybe extradition case in Omoyen, Ewahi. Attorney General, Dominica Yini, why are you lying to the people? Semenoka say, Federal District Court to obey and our file extradition process against Ken Ofori-Atta because you can't just wake up and file extradition process anywhere at all. So why is it? Now, Yenti Attorney General.
Former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and his chef de cabinet, Mr. Ernest Dako Akori. You will recall that the Office of the Special Prosecutor investigated acts of corruption and corruption-related offenses by the former Finance Minister and his accomplices and proceeded to file charges in the High Court of Justice against them. On November 19th, 2025, that is this year, my office received a formal request from the Office of the Special Prosecutor to initiate extradition proceedings for Kenneth Ofori-Atta and Ernest Dako Akori from the United States of America. Following a preliminary review, our International Cooperation Unit observed that certain aspects of the request require clarification and enhancements to align with the applicable legal and procedural requirements. We communicated these observations to the Office of the Special Prosecutor via a letter dated 25th November 2025 and requested supplementary documentation to ensure completeness. On December 9th, 2025, the Office of the Special Prosecutor provided a requested additional documentation and addressed observations.
So by December 9th, and I am not say 22nd. So at what point in our file extradition
that we raised, thereby finalizing the extradition request packages. Subsequently, on December 10th, 2025, my office transmitted the complete request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for onward transmission to the competent authorities in the United States of America. That is, in this case, the Department of Justice of the United States.
So the Department of Justice of the United States, Ana Ode Ebrenwo, So clearly you understand that a Department of Justice of the United States and eventually issue a arrest warrant. So how did you manage to tell the Ghanaian people, say Ken Ofori-Atta hire a lawyer for, so among fighting the extradition process? Me gonna want here. Because court, you ready, sir? You ready? You ready? Now, I say if on such a hearing, he deems fit, here we are talking about judge now, but national, he deems fit the evidence sufficient to sustain the charge under the provisions of the proper treaty or convention, he shall certify the same to the Secretary of State that a warrant may issue for the surrender of such a person. It's Attorney General, our lawyer, Ninim say a banner extradition and your final decision of a court. So if extradition is just issuance of certificate, how did you manage to say that it is appealable? Because per section 3184 of United States Code, no, extradition is appealable. The only time a decision is appealable at the court is when that decision is a final binding judgment of a court. In some instances, when your lawyer when him say even temporary restraining orders and injunctions and the Quran and appealable at the court. How much more a certificate, magistrate, and a judge neighbor issue, and a wood try and torture Ghana for one say. Ken Ofori-Atta high top lawyers what they air fighting.
At this point, it is left to the American authorities, especially the judicial authorities, to make a determination on whether a sufficient basis exists for the two accused persons to be extradited to Ghana to stand trial. And because the matters have already been filed, and because they have been filed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Filed where? Which court? Which judge? When was the hearing done? Filed where? Extradition cannot be filed at any just U.S. district court. Yes, I mean, you should give the people credit them with some intelligence. Eti Ken Ofori-Atta ne address otehe. Ken Ofori-Atta ne address no otehe. Ana mo file a federal court. Se muni maybe otedi amon kanchere. Now there is no appeal, no second hearing. If it's a judge no ye magistrate court no, onye determine say yes extradite Abu Treka. It's a certificate to be released in the Nako. But we try to tell man for say Ken Ofori-Atta will be fighting, going to the circuit. When you market somebody Ken Ofori-Atta. And maybe some question said $20 million now money mo campaign. Last minute and away. $20 million away. Na ya chief Ken. One chicken Ofori-Atta no and chena. Why do you see a chicken Ofori-Atta? It's a lie. It's a lie. Yan chicken Ofori-Atta nen chena. So why gonna ayo say? You ready a year. Okay. Sorry. I'm back to Ofancha Mr. I say Mr. X and Mr. Y. I feel no motion in your name. Or come Mr. X, Mr. Y, so still I don't want EPP and your what's your two. Now, Yarisha Adewi. When him say Adi Attorney General and Washada and war, you say by your best Ken Ofori-Atta case, you know. And make sure the India. Because as part of a year treaty conventions between a year United States, you know, say o politicize adhere too much. A fugitive criminal shall not be surrendered if the offense in respect of which his surrender is requested is one of political character, or if it appears to the Court of National Liberation Council that the requisition of a surrender has in fact been made with a view to try or punish him for an offense of a political character. Tienio. Eti adi Attorney General ya de bia no wode abegina media mu a all fight Ken Ofori-Atta onimpe fe se mra ne kase se ye kase obi mra for extradition process. Na say nipa ne politicize ade any too much. United States will not give that person to you. So say, why are you lying to the people? I don't know which man for an intro. It's a man for you, they are some opium. Or you media money diasem. Menoka said there is no extradition anywhere. Say, be what? Wadaroma Attorney General yesrewa for extradition no court to kra mo file no fabra ne nyina enye why ye nyina enhwe so it's a lie no extradition bibia say anyhow Attorney General ni twa motro o twa motro o twa motro pa
Principle of reciprocity applies, okay, and I would have been very happy to hand over Abutrika as I have done, okay, and then get Ofori-Atta quickly in return.
Now then, Abutrika, right. The one fighting case, from Supreme Court, from District Court to Abutrika, or you decided on the court, yes, sir. Now, yet me fighting extradition process up to a year Supreme Court level. So I believe that Abutrika would. So, Attorney General no Kano correct. Munyina mudia. Now, last minute, Yamfa last state of the nation, Emra, here we are, Yansoro. Yet you come and say, Emma Ura John Dramani Mahama. John Dramani Mahama said, Yatu Abama no 2016. In fact, who penipo ye lucky power we are here. John Mahama aye MP, Deputy Minister, Vice President, President. Anna, the Nimugu Asia 2016. Or Dan and one or Kobaye. Okoba ne nyame ye na dom sa share in munyam. And this president be hunu se enkrofo bi ahyase yentie Mahama Ayariga. MP na wontimi nko ne kurubu no. Yentie Mahama Ayariga. Na Mahama Ayariga ese enam adwuma papa adwo Mahama eboni nti. Ebetimi kura yemma dwo Mahama nko tetem.
That due to the very, very excellent performance so far of John Dramani Mahama, Ghanaians are asking him to seek a third term. I know that. I know that because I read on social media, I listen to conversations, and Ghanaians believe that as a result of the good deeds of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, they don't want him to leave the presidency.
They believe a third term is possible.
And they believe that a third term is possible. And they are demanding for a third term. But John Dramani Mahama has not given any indication that he wants to go for a third term. But I have always said that Ghanaians will be the ultimate deciders of the future of this country. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, why do I say that? Please pay attention. Why do I say that? Next doors in the Côte d'Ivoire, the opposition leaders came to me when I was in the ECOWAS Parliament and complained that the president there wanted to go for a third term. And they were calling on us in West Africa to support them, to oppose and prevent the president from going for a third term. So I asked them, the president who is seeking for a third term, is he going to put a ballot box in front of the citizens and ask them to vote?
This useless conversation being had by Mahama Ayariga. Any serious jurisdiction, Mahama Ayariga would have resigned as the majority leader of our parliament. Now, Ghana Parliament, over the quality of people who stand on the floor of Parliament to debate, they lack even the intellectual firepower to be able to debate on the floor of Parliament. Unfortunately, it's the truth. Osha time the likes of Victor Usumu Jina floor of parliament, President Kufuor Jina floor of parliament, JH Mensah Jina floor of parliament, no more making debate. They are making coherent analysis of issues. Look at Mahama Yarga. Any serious country where majority leader of the party, any what the constitution says, and this is not about politics. We are sipping you, metro, we don't history. But only say no, Constitutional Review Commission for the Abase. My MPs in your ministers. There is historical antecedent to that. But only say the Abase yen changing from 4 years to 5 years. There is historical antecedent to that. And I'm saying Ghana for an city. And the same thing is Anna Kwame Nkrumah time. You see, yeah. Kwame Nkrumah Obaye 1948 riot. Kwame Nkrumah ye pamo no yenche ne kotu mu na Nyankopon ye na dom se de Dwomama ye gu na nimu ase 2016. Nyankopon ye na dom etie ne sufre. Ana Kwame Nkrumah in 1951 or so ye the election social so obi ye UGCC for. Then onya nkrofo me sha ase keka nkwase asem kire no Kwame, you can do it. Kwame, Kwame, the people love you. Kwame, go ahead. Na Kwame Nkrumah ye no yi Chief Justice Akukosa said your Dwomama ba ye ono so yi Chief Justice Tokonu Shim kwasesem sa na Kwame wakofa Preventive Detention Act we use parliament na ye de man no majority parliament na ye de man Kwame Nkrumah no na Kwame Nkrumah use the same majority parliament no masesa mara no Preventive Detention Act. Don't forget everything Kwame Nkrumah did was law, it was legal, but it weakened the institution. And one of Dwomama ba ye omufu ele no yo yi Chief Justice no you know you have super majority. Kwame Nkrumah no super majority, super majority. It was 33 against 3 seats. So it was a super majority back in 1950. Say ya oni ani e ka to the trim. Na Kwame Nkrumah abegwa de we say Dwomama anwo ka kire yi easy. We Kwame Nkrumah do anyi easy o. Oye no use parliament super majority ni e de man no. Ano pass mra. They say Kurama declare one party state. Said the Nkrofo a Jimifo a catcher or say constitution, you know, Sisan Ewa Bra, would your mama when you win him the SC. The Entiana coup d'etat as a coso. Emma sa a year republic way etimia survive is the hope that people think they will get the chance to choose their government every 8 years. Now what was it? Yes, it's a constitution, Messa could be you and President Mama Pa, Betimia could be you. Said your mama doing some many Ghana. A man who was sorry Pomo Kwame Nkrumah. Tell me a Pomo Kwame Nkrumah. No question Saki. One in a num a year. Hanover, Ofri Hanover, Oko China. Question Saki Jana Ho, Eba Ghana. Eba surrender to the Kumakers. Etinipa ne ben one be you ama. What dear Momonada. Mama, Yalaga went to me Kunu Monada. Say, who bet me a year? And go bet me a say, Yana near Kwame Nkrumah. Sana a champon beji to me, a champon gel to me in my mouth for the course derby or pay union government or them crop for catching a champon bet me a yo champ on one and crop for general kufu with the two no. Etimama Yaraganya Tilkotu said Jemuamwa. Now one nada. So bet me a yo. The Ghanaian of yesteryears, the Ghanaian of 1966, the Ghanaian of 1972, the Ghanaian of 79, Ghana will way on a sotiasi. The entire Yejam Mamudi Sansem, who know as politicians, is because of the hope said, any power will try us 8 years in your Obekwa Mubiaba. It's refreshing. As I obey illegal, so be Mubiako. The Article 66.2, Yenridi Article 66.2, 10 years, or Anenkophobia imported nonsense into it. Say Article 66.2 say consecutive terms. This is the written or the actual text of Article 66.2. Article 66.2 is very clear. I say a person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms. You need any consecutive. You need any caveat to be 2 terms, full stop. The president limit is entrenched. It will be until me mama can't say. Ana constitution say 2 consecutive terms. And debe ne fa he go say. Your mama me say man krofo na da. So you say Ghana for a kawata. Odi amomonada. Oba afufro na omobo joso. John, you think you are doing well. You are not doing anything. The people just don't understand. Na Mahama yaga, oh, yamane tete. Said Sabia no muye against our constitution we are surviving for the past 33 years. It's because of the hope of the people changing their government every 8 years. And a constitution is supreme than you, John Dramani Mahama. Even if you decide to amend the constitution, which there is a process because the constitution under Article 290, that chapter 8 is an entrenched provision. So there are processes, a entrenched amendment. Even if the people decide to amend the constitution, which minimum you say emaso. You read Article 290 was this article applies to amendment of the following provisions of this constitution, which are in this constitution referred to as entrenched provisions. As a chapter 8, the whole of chapter 8. So chapter 8, be amendia. We hear say we go through Council of State. We hear say we gazette. Na ye hwede obenya tumi so di sansem hono no. Memo papa be na Mahama ni bu a ye hunu bi da concert ne theatrics no. Enti ye versus constitution. Amenako. Tie nyansa. Mr. President, now you read Article 1 to was a constitution shall be the supreme law of Ghana. And any other law found to be inconsistent, no judicial interpretation shall save you. Now, you better find any means possible. Any means possible. And you defend it. Because Constitution under Article 3.4, you read what Article 3.4 says. All persons of Ghana shall have the right and duty at all times to defend this Constitution. And in particular to resist any group of persons, any person or group of persons seeking to commit any of the acts referred to in clause 3. To hear why Ghana say abrogate constitution wa ye no obeko. Ghana for nya coward sir. Obviously the laws were made for men. No problem. Said the laws were made for men. No yenso so nkwase asem so. Ye benya bodam ni a ochina wono nso beba. Also, I didn't cry, say, you're free 2 times and 3 times and one. You're about to about after every 20 years. You think you are the only people who are power hungry. You people. The American, Mr. President. So, what you say you're more powerful, when you answer, will be anti here. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana for. There were Jefa who dear my Ghana for Pamono. Kwame Nkrumah, George Jefa who dear my Ghana for Pamono. Okotena gini nuko wi. Etu de mo na da wa John betimi aye sisa constitution John betimi aye sisa ko mo na da o. Na me be chiro pictures bi. So now you're more powerful, you're more intelligent, you're more handsome than Kwame Nkrumah be kan beti. Mr. President, be careful. To me ba ye nyankwasiafo emo mutwa amuhia. Na enye no omopo wasem o omope ade no a omudie because of utumi no tie be daada na Mahama betimi ayo John, go ahead, amend the constitution kobio. Mr. President, Kwame Nkrumah, the best president Ghana ever had. Onye afi yetu no otigini Oma no mo dada ne so wonye de wonye nyina no obi akora nkwa no. It is a president Mahama be koso aye de oye no a me ka wo se Kwame Nkrumah de atu ni nie. Mr. President de atu Kwame Nkrumah nie. E so be koso aye de woye no a to aso saa. Mr. President enipa dada na woye de woye no a de atu Kwame Nkrumah enie. Kwame Nkrumah na ojefa ahodie ma manfo no a na manfo ni bonisi no. It drew when West come to chef. Oyi say akukos I said the obaye wayi a chief justice ayenka ho hwe no. You are weakening the institutions. Go ahead and do it. But mention us a picture we so. One sergeant Omai, your friend Charles Taylor. Charles Taylor was a very powerful guy in Liberia. When power changed within a twinkle of an eye, This is Charles Taylor, a hunk of Gunisa. This is Charles Taylor, a hunk of Gunisa. It is a 2-make club by 1 Ghana for but you 2 seconds here. Mahama Yarigamo, Madanka Williams. And now they'll say you are above the law and you can change it and you go for dear bed. You will be shocked. What will you be met with? You will be shocked what you'll be met with. And we shall defend this constitution with our blood. Some of us were not born to just become some lines or a page in somebody's history. We never was born to be like that. And we don't want anybody to give us an opportunity to write a whole chapter about us. You will face the fiercest resistance ever in the history of our republic. And I know Deputy Director of Operations at the presidency. Your friend is Mustafa Bandi. Or say MPP for any baby a boy. And yet me winnie. Mustafa MPP for baby boy. You know why? Because San and Nipa Adasan is subaiti. Adasan subaini say. See the 2 main mouth, Julius Caesar. Enipa na omone ne call go ekokontokwa. Julius Caesar call go kontokwa. Say nipa na wo ba ye Brutus ne na sefo. Omo an de sekan wo no ewo eye Senate. In the middle of Senate. Alexander the Great at the age of 23 years, etimi conquer from Macedonia all the way to eye Persia. Eje sa kingdom akese nyina. Ono an nkrofo na poison no. It is a winning to me said yet here. Sit down there and start doing the things you are doing. Near the constitution, and it will change the constitution. Go and change the constitution. Julius Debra was president in Libya. Pa. I see you don't get here. Di pa. Or Moabe Boami de Seka war a Senate. Said the war Julius Caesar. Coincidentally, only the Julius, but I could Julius Caesar, I could Julius Debra. It would hear Twasso. Nemi anya oje Mahama 24-hour economy onya yensu yama ne tete ora etro onya yensu yama ne tete DSTV ntokwa with Sam George onya yensu yama ne tete. Go ahead and do that, and you will see. Say to me, Kwame Nkrumah one question saki na ye the foreign affairs minister onene na call Hanover ye ku ni we ya no ja no no ba Ghana. It is a wonim said you to meet here. Tina honedi eti mo ye President Mahama 3rd term, President Mahama 4th term. Emma so china. Even if the Constitutional Review Commission for omo amendment na omo proposing omo ya, President Mahama came at the back on the back of this very constitution which gave him 2-term limit. So he can never become president again. Say yeah, amending one. It will not take a year retrospective effect. It will take a year effect from your next election. So whoever wins, they will cost 5 years now. Oh, President Mahama dear, where we ting tong time.